Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have Crown Jewel this weekend, so I figured it is time for the prediction video. I wanted to wait until at least Raw happened because I knew it was going to be like we would have Raw, and then there would be another match added. I just had a feeling that that's how it was going to be because it feels like SmackDown always kind of gets like a stacked card before it that like solidifies that like the U.S. title and like the like if depending on if the WWE Championship is like on the line there. It like it's going to be defended on that SmackDown, so it doesn't make it to the PLE. And we know Sami Zayn's defending, Julia's in a match, Tiffany's in that same match. So like, and Cody's already got a match, so like it's just locked down. So I do feel like this is pretty confidently the five matches we're getting, but I every once in a while we get something sprung on us. But let's just jump into it. So the first match we'll talk about is Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. This has been an amazing storyline so far. It's been my favorite storyline, I think, altogether this year. It was a slow burn, but we finally got to not necessarily the climax because I still think like it's Io Sky versus Asuka is like the last big thing that we might get. I think we'll get a Survivor Series match with them, and then whatever's next after that, which would be probably the Royal Rumble. That might be the time that they bring that match. And I think that will end their feud and whatever they want to do. I don't think it'll make it to WrestleMania, but you never know. I've been wrong about those things, and this burn has been pretty slow, so I'm cool with all of it, to be honest. But this match I'm absolutely happy for because I like all four women a lot. They're like could possibly, be in that like top 20 category of my favorite wrestlers. I mean, all four of them. So that really helps. So, I do believe it's going to be Io and Rhea that wins here. I feel like kind of like Rhea needs to win in her home country. And I feel like also just the whole point is like them winning still can make this feud go longer. If Io and Rhea lose, then there's really no point. Then Asuka and Kairi Sane are right. So I do feel like that's kind of the thing that they're going with, and I'm completely cool with that. I think this is going to be one of those matches that can really be match of the night easily if they just let them go out and wrestle. I really hope they give them like a 15 plus minute timeline too, because like a lot of the times they'll cut them a little short and then we'll have to worry about like just being a fast match, but this should easily be at least 15 minutes if not longer. So yeah, Io and Rhea. Next up, we have Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. This is the only match that I could not care less about. We don't really need this as being a rematch. It's an Australian street fight, so they can hit each other with kangaroos and dingoes, I guess. But I swear this is just kind of a pointless thing, to be honest. This feud is pointless. I know they wanted to get Bronson Reed on the card because last time in Perth he had gotten, Seth Rollins got hurt, so he didn't get a match that he ended up getting. I thought really that Bronson Reed might be Sami Zayn's mystery opponent on Friday, but I do think that's going to actually be Grayson Waller now. So all the Aussies will get a chance to be in there, at least all the main roster ones, because Azaria won't make it. But this match is just not really fun. I mean, I just really don't like this feud. I know they're trying to keep Roman on the card and get him when he's actually ready to wrestle, and I guess this is the time to do it. So I don't think Bronson Reed could really afford a loss here, but I do think Roman Reigns is going to win. I just can't really see them doing that. He's going to have the deck stack against him, so we might see a very messy one with, Braun Breaker maybe coming, and then maybe Jey Uso coming to save him, and I feel like it's just leading to a random tag match down the line. So I don't know. I'm like cautiously optimistic that this storyline could be different than the Bloodline split storyline, but I'm not gonna put all my eggs in one basket. So we'll see. Then we have AJ Styles versus John Cena. I think this is going to be just a nostalgia type match. I really just hope they let him go all out. John Cena, when he went all out with Cody Rhodes, and that ended up being a great match. I think John Cena against Logan Paul going all out. I think John Cena got a lot of good stuff in there. The Brock Lesnar match was kind of ass, but I think this is the redemption here. This is what we're banking on. I do think it's going to be AJ Styles winning. I do believe that like this is a 50-50 thing because AJ Styles should get the win because he's going to be here longer and like he could really use extra momentum right now being around the Intercontinental Championship maybe idea. But this is also like AJ Styles, second to last year because I think his last year is next year, and I would hope that like John Cena would like to get to that 100 PLE win thing, and he's kind of running out of time. I mean, he's gonna have a Survivor Series match and then his finale match, but I do believe his finale match, if it's against Gunther or whoever else, he loses that one. So there's a good possibility that we'll see uh, anything that could go here. But I guess my final thing would be AJ Styles. I really am kind of torn back and forth on this one. Then we get to the two crown jewel matchups. We'll start off with Stephanie versus Tiffany Stratton. This match, I think, is going to be an absolute banger. I think it's just going to be one of those things that, like, it's Tiffany's year. Tiffany's been one of those wrestlers that has had everything for her. She's had some signature wins, against, Trish Stratus, Charlotte Flair, and obviously she's beaten up on Nia Jax and Jade Cargill a lot. I feel like Tiffany has just been that champion, and I think she's kind of one of those to lock in and probably make it all the way to WrestleMania. So this is kind of one of those things where like Stephanie just getting the title, I think can afford a loss a little bit. I could possibly see somebody coming down there and costing one or the other just to set up a new feud. Tiffany's undefeated on the year, and I just don't see her losing here. But I wouldn't be surprised like if there's something outside shenanigans. It really needs to be here. I'm not a big fan of always having it like where something happens, but I'm really wishing that something like this happens in this type of match because I don't feel like either one can afford a clean loss, and neither of them are heels, so I don't think we're gonna get it. So I'm just gonna go with Tiffany Stratton here, but I could see it being the other way if there's some type of interference by I don't know. I hope somebody knew. I really don't want it to be Nia Jax. Nothing against Nia Jax. I just want something different for Tiffany. And then we get to the men's crown jewel match. I think this is the match I'm just most excited for because I like Cody Rhodes and I like Seth Rollins. They're two of my favorite male wrestlers. So I am absolutely happy to be able to see this match. Rhodes being undefeated against, Rollins is a very interesting thing, but I'm pretty sure it ends here because Seth Rollins can't really afford to lose, mainly because they've set it up that he can't afford to lose. And I really don't think they're going to split up the vision or get rid of that whole thing right now, unless they're really just really looking for that exit pull. But I still don't think that's the thing, unless they're going to like write Paul Heyman off or like let him just do over the tag team. But I really just don't think that's what there's going. I think Rollins kind of just gets that that momentum here and wins. I do feel like the vision will probably be in effect here. I mean, obviously Bronson Reed's already going to be here for the match, and Braun Breaker, I do think it's going to be. But I think ultimately the story that I predict that they want to tell, because they were thinking about it at WrestlePalooza, but they didn't do it. But I think this is the next part. And I think it's going to be Randy Orton that cost him, either purposely or on accident. I think it's going to be an accident, and then like it get kind of twisted later, but I could see it also being on purpose to set up a Cody Rhodes Randy Orton feud for this later half of the year, even into War Games and stuff like that. I feel like that would be the best case scenario. They don't necessarily have to do that because you have the whole vision that could also help them, but I do feel like the deck's going to be stacked against Cody so he doesn't win back to back Crown Jewel championships, and I think he could afford the loss if it's not a clean loss because he just recently won the championship. He hasn't really set up anything for this run, so I feel like he's in the clear to just kind of do that. I mean, he faced Drew McIntyre, so he's got one defense, and I think Seth Rollins has one defense. So I think it's kind of similar, but I really feel like Seth needs this. So I'm going to go with Seth Rollins. And yeah, I mean, this is a pretty solid card. I'm way more excited for this than WrestlePalooza. Obviously, anytime you get Io Sky on the card, I'm going to be absolutely happy, being one of my tops, especially with Rhea and Asuka and Kairi saying, like, you just have that opening match. I don't even know if it's the opening match, but it's on this as the opening match. I'm absolutely just going to love this PLE anyways. And hopefully it all pays off. I mean, I do see, a lot of possible interference and stuff like that going on, and hopefully some built up things. I feel like this is definitely could be a very big bridge like type of PLE where it bridges us into the second half of the year technically, like, because WrestleMania starts it off, we're about 6 months in to that year, so we're about halfway through the wrestling year, and this is where we start getting that lower half of like where we're going into WrestleMania and stuff. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff here, and tell me if you guys are excited, who you think is going to win in the comments below, and we can talk about it. And hopefully you guys can stay up in the States because it's going to be super early. I'm probably going to have to sleep and then watch it the next day and just make sure I don't touch my phone or open up my phone or see anything on my phone because I don't want the spoilers. But you never know. But until next time, this has been Japan. Bye, guys.